If you've clicked on this video, chances are you're a climber. And if you're not, well, you most likely know at least one person who climbs, and they're probably addicted to climbing. With new gyms popping up everywhere worldwide, this trend of rock climbing turns people who visit the gym for the first time to dedicated climbers in such a short period of time. If you've ever been around climbers, you know for a fact that they can't go 5 minutes without talking about climbing. And it's because they're addicted. Which begs the question, why is rock climbing so addicting?
Oh, yes! Come on! Yes!
Please!
So close!
Last Sunday was my birthday, and although I had been training all week and was fatigued from it, the only thing I really wanted to do for my birthday was to climb. I had the option to relax and take a rest day, but all that was on my mind was to go climbing. I celebrated by trying to do a one-arm pull-up, eating donuts, doing some flips, and spending some time with friends. But during all of this, I had a lot of time to think about this question, and this video is my attempt to answer it. Why do people climb? It's a grueling sport where you put yourself through arduous situations to get to the top only to come down and do it all over again. Rock climbing is one of those sports that, if you really think about it, is arbitrary. Often if you go to a rock climbing gym, ironically, there will be staircases, ladders, and even elevators, which are all inventions that humans have evolved to make so we don't have to climb anymore. We've come a long way since the days that climbing was necessary for protection from predators or a means to acquire better food. Yet here we are today chalking up our hands and are trying to find the most difficult ways up rock walls. Climbing can be understood as why it's so addictive in 3 aspects: endorphins, the sense of accomplishment, and community. With any sport or physical activity, endorphins are released and flood your body with a good feeling. Your heart rate increases, blood flows, your brain is active and ready to go. With maybe the exception of daring free soloists like Alex Honnold, humans are born with an innate fear of heights, as it's an evolutionary mechanic built in for our survival. When climbing and overcoming that fear combined with the endorphins from the exercise provided, it can really bring a mental rush, a climber's high. Overcoming inherent fears such as death from falling from heights gives us this climber's high, and as former race car driver James Hunt puts it, the closer we are to death, the more we feel alive. How often do you get that feeling of rush when pulling over that sketchy top out where you felt like you were going to slip and fall at any moment? Or the times where you fell on a hard move while sport climbing and screamed because for a moment you weren't sure if the rope would catch you. Scientists have equated the addiction to the endorphin rush to that of other addictive substances like hard drugs. There are even withdrawal symptoms when you can't get the rush that exercise provides you. I'm sure we all have felt it ourselves, or at least known someone who got down or depressed after suffering from an injury and couldn't climb for a long period of time. The hardest part of injuries often can be the mental toll that it takes on someone. But aside the pure chemical reactions our brains produce that make climbing addictive, climbing lends itself to being a very addictive sport because of the inherent chase of feeling accomplished while doing the activity. In most conventional sports, especially team sports, it's hard to put metrics on a player's accomplishments unless it's a championship trophy or gold medal. Even when you're able to put hard metrics on a player's abilities, there are often too many variables that make their rate of success difficult to predict. For instance, Zedrick Woods was the fastest player on the NFL Combine in 2019. Theoretically, all the team has to do to win is pass the ball and he should be able to outrun everyone, right? Well, unfortunately, the Jaguars are one of the teams that have never won a Super Bowl title, because there is so much more than just being the fastest, jumping the highest, or being the most accurate player on the field to succeed. In climbing, the variables are reduced greatly. Being an individual sport means that individual skill expression is much more important than in a team sport. Seeing accomplishments feels more valuable since it's a product of the individual climber's hard work and skill rather than variables that come from playing with a team. The grading system that climbing follows gives a metric that we can also judge our own improvement and accomplishments by. The grind to go up in the grading scale is addictive, and there's no shame in admitting that either. There is a clear path and number associated to a new level of accomplishment through the grading scale. It's similar to why RPGs like World of Warcraft or RuneScape are so addicting, because there is an initial grind period where you have to do tasks that consume time, then you're able to level up and go fight a stronger monster only to do it all over again. But because the level of yourself, the level of the monsters, and the tasks you have to do become greater, it feels like a new experience again. There will always be a next grade, and with that, a new set of challenges, skills to learn, strength to gain, and experiences to process. Another great thing about climbing, though, is that as much as accomplishments can be measured by how far you go up in the grade scale, accomplishments can be intrinsic to what an individual climber values. Sure, there are climbers that want to push the grade ladder, but there are many climbers whose greatest accomplishments are to climb routes that push them in unique ways. Maybe it's their goal to climb in the most beautiful locations, explore new areas, do feats of endurance, or even climb without a rope. Competitions also exist as a way to accomplish something in climbing, but even if they didn't exist, there are so many different avenues that a climber can feel accomplishment through. These personalized goals hold a significant value to the individual. Climbers are often outcasts. Many of us weren't cut out for team sports, were called nerds in school, or in general just felt like we didn't fit in. Climbing is such a communal sport where climbers will gather at the gym or crag and share ideas with one another, letting those who may have felt left out included. Climbing creates a community and network of like-minded people that really lets you feel included. Climbing is also one of those sports where no matter what shape, size, or gender you are, you can find acceptance in a community that already understands what it feels like to be in a niche community. The gym or local crag often becomes a second home, leading to the creation of long-lasting relationships and memories. As much as you can feel accomplished sending your project, the reaction and acceptance of your peers can make it even more special.
Last one, let's go. Finish strong. Finish strong, come on. Last one, just get to the top. I'm gonna go turn in your card. Last check right here, come on. Sweet! All right, I'm gonna go get your time. I'll be right back.
But now, the more philosophical reason why climbing can be so addictive. When I tore my shoulder a few years ago, I went through the withdrawal symptoms of not being able to do the activity that held such a special place in my heart. My mental state declined and I felt without much purpose. During that time, I began watching One Punch Man, the first anime series I've ever watched from start to finish. In it, the main character, Saitama, has an incredible ability that he can beat any opponent with a single punch. This is his greatest blessing and at the same time the greatest curse he faces. His greatest challenge in life is to find anything challenging. His peers around him struggle beating alien opponents and nearly die in the attempts to do so, yet because Saitama faces no challenges in fighting, he often feels empty. It's the same reason why having all the money in the world won't bring you happiness. Humans want to have purpose in life, and to have a purpose, we need challenges. Sure, we could easily climb a ladder and get to the top of a boulder, use a rope to pull ourselves over a cliff, or fly a helicopter to the top of Mount Everest. But that would never challenge us. The challenges we face climbing and in our daily lives are what makes us human and molds us into who we are. We love the endorphin rush, we love the sense of accomplishment, we love the community, and we love the challenges climbing gives us. Climbing is by no means a perfect sport, but nothing in the world really is. It's the imperfections that define us and make us want to succeed, to want to feel like we have a purpose. It's the reason why after we fall over 100 times, we get back up and try again. And as always, keep crushing it.